Have a sweet nightmares. I never thought that a simple camping trip could turn into a nightmare, but that's exactly what happened to me. Let me take you back to that fateful weekend when I experienced the most horrific camping horror story. It all started in the picturesque town of Pineville, nestled in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. The air was crisp, and the scent of pine filled my lungs as I set up camp in the remote wilderness, far away from civilization. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows over the towering trees that surrounded me. It was serene, peaceful even, as I settled into the tranquility of nature. As the night fell, a sense of unease crept over me. The crackling campfire provided some comfort, but an eerie silence blanketed the forest. Every rustle of leaves and distant hoot of an owl seemed amplified in the darkness. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Unable to ignore my instincts, I decided to explore the area the following morning. The first rays of sunlight illuminated the dense undergrowth and revealed a hidden path leading deeper into the woods. Curiosity got the better of me, and I ventured down the trail, my heart pounding in my chest. The path twisted and turned, leading me further away from the safety of my campsite. Then I stumbled upon a clearing unlike any I had ever seen. The grass was withered, and the trees surrounding it appeared to be twisted and deformed, as if nature itself recoiled in horror. There was an undeniable sense of malevolence in the air. Suddenly, an otherworldly presence filled the clearing. My heart raced, and a cold sweat drenched my brow. It was then that I saw them. Extraterrestrial beings unlike anything I had ever imagined. Their elongated limbs and piercing eyes sent a shiver down my spine. Fear paralyzed me as they approached, their movements fluid and otherworldly. My mind couldn't comprehend what I was witnessing. Were they here to harm me? Questions swirled in my head, but before I could react, they encircled me, trapping me in their unearthly grasp. As the seconds ticked by, the aliens conveyed a message to me, not through words, but through a telepathic connection. Images of destruction and chaos flashed before my eyes. They warned of an impending catastrophe that would engulf the entire planet. It was a vision of horrors beyond comprehension. With their message delivered, the beings released their hold on me, vanishing into thin air as quickly as they had appeared. I stumbled backward, gasping for breath, trying to process what had just happened. The once peaceful camping trip had turned into a life-altering encounter, leaving me forever changed. I rushed back to my campsite, packed my belongings, and left Pineville in a daze. The weight of the extraterrestrial encounter hung heavy on my shoulders, and I couldn't shake the feeling that the world as I knew it was on the brink of destruction. To this day, I struggle to come to terms with what I witnessed in that remote wilderness. The encounter with those extraterrestrial beings shattered my perception of reality, leaving me haunted by the horrors that await us all. So, my friends, be wary when venturing into the unknown, for the horrors that lurk in the darkness may not be of this world. The encounter in the wilderness forever changed my life, and I can only hope that humanity will heed the warning before it's too late. I've always been a fan of the great outdoors. There's something about the fresh air and the tranquility of nature that soothes my soul. So when my friends suggested a camping trip in the picturesque Blackwood Forest, I jumped at the opportunity. Little did I know that this trip would turn out to be the most harrowing experience of my life. Blackwood Forest, located just outside the small quaint town of Willowbrook, was a haven for outdoor enthusiasts like myself. Towering pine trees provided a lush canopy, creating a sense of isolation from the outside world. The forest was known for its dense undergrowth, concealing a myriad of hidden secrets. It was a place where legends and myths were born, whispered around campfires to send shivers down the spines of unsuspecting campers. Our group consisted of 5 friends: Mark, Sarah, Tom, Rachel, and me. We arrived at the campsite on a sunny afternoon, setting up our tents amidst the majestic backdrop of the forest. The atmosphere felt peaceful, with birds chirping and a gentle breeze rustling through the leaves. We were excited for a weekend filled with hiking, fishing, and late-night bonfires. As the sun began to set, a sense of unease settled upon us. The forest took on an eerie ambiance, casting long shadows that seemed to dance in the fading light. We brushed off our unease as mere imagination, attributing it to the stories we had heard about the forest. Little did we know that we were about to become characters in our very own horror story. That night, as we gathered around the campfire, a distant sound broke the tranquility. It was a low growl, followed by an agonizing scream that sent chills down our spines. We exchanged terrified glances, our hearts pounding in unison. Our peaceful camping trip had taken a sinister turn. Unable to ignore the cries, we ventured deeper into the forest to investigate. The moon cast an ethereal glow, illuminating our path as we stumbled through the undergrowth. The air grew thick with tension, as if the forest itself held its breath, anticipating our arrival. Suddenly we stumbled upon a clearing, and what we saw would forever haunt our nightmares. A disfigured creature, its eyes glowing with a sinister red hue, stood before us. Its body was a grotesque amalgamation of flesh and bone, its limbs contorted in unnatural angles. Fear paralyzed us as the creature lunged towards us with a speed and ferocity we could never have anticipated. We ran for our lives, the creature hot on our heels. Branches scraped against our skin, and the forest seemed to conspire against us, tripping us at every turn. Panic set in as we realized that escape was futile. The creature was relentless, closing in on us with each passing second. Just as hope was about to slip away, we stumbled upon an abandoned cabin hidden deep within the forest. Desperation propelled us inside, where we found a semblance of safety, albeit temporary. The cabin's walls told stories of those who had sought refuge before us, their desperate pleas etched into the wood. As the night wore on, the creature circled the cabin, its haunting cries reverberating through the darkness. We huddled together, our hearts pounding in our chests, praying for dawn to break and release us from this nightmare. When the first rays of sunlight pierced through the cabin's windows, the creature vanished into the depths of the forest, leaving us trembling with relief and disbelief. We emerged from the cabin, battered and scarred, but grateful to be alive. Blackwood Forest had shown us the true meaning of horror. It had tested our limits and shattered our sense of security. The scars we carried would forever remind us of the terrors we had faced that fateful night. To this day, I cannot set foot in a forest without reliving the horrors of Blackwood Forest. I caution those who dare to tread its darkened paths, for the spirits that dwell within are not easily forgotten. It was a crisp summer evening when my friends and I embarked on what was supposed to be an unforgettable camping adventure in the heart of the picturesque Cascade Mountains. Nestled in the state of Washington, just a stone's throw away from the charming town of Leavenworth, our chosen campsite promised tranquility and natural beauty. As we arrived at the secluded spot, the sun was beginning its descent, casting long shadows across the dense forest. Towering pine trees surrounded us, their branches swaying gently in the evening breeze. The air was thick with the scent of damp soil and the distant melody of chirping birds. It seemed like the perfect setting for a peaceful getaway. We set up our tents near a small, crystal-clear stream that meandered through the campsite. The gurgling sound of the water instantly soothed our weary souls. The fire pit crackled and danced, casting an orange glow on our faces as we sat around it, sharing laughter and stories. However, little did we know that our idyllic retreat was about to take a sinister turn. It started innocently enough when a stranger stumbled upon our campsite. He introduced himself as Jake, a loner who claimed to be an experienced outdoorsman. His unkempt appearance and unsettling gaze sent a shiver down my spine, but my friends welcomed him with open arms, ignorant of the darkness that lurked within his soul. As the days passed, Jake's demeanor grew increasingly erratic. He would disappear for hours on end, returning with a twisted smile on his face. Strange occurrences plagued our campsite. Items went missing, strange noises echoed through the night, and an unsettling feeling of being watched haunted our every step. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, we gathered around the fire, dread hanging heavy in the air. Jake's presence had become suffocating, his eyes glinting with a sadistic pleasure. He regaled us with tales of gruesome murders he claimed to have witnessed in the nearby town of Leavenworth. His words painted vivid images of blood-soaked streets and tortured souls, his voice dripping with malevolence. The once serene forest now seemed to pulsate with an ominous energy. Shadows danced menacingly, and the wind whispered sinister secrets. Fear gripped our hearts as we realized that we were trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape. Nightfall brought with it a wave of terror that engulfed our campsite. The crackling fire offered little solace as the darkness closed in around us. Each rustle of leaves, each distant hoot of an owl sent our hearts racing. We huddled together, clutching our flashlights like lifelines, our eyes darting nervously into the inky abyss. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air, shattering the silence. Panic consumed us as we scrambled to find the source of the terrifying sound. But Jake was nowhere to be found. Our search yielded no answers, only a lingering sense of dread that hung heavy in the air. As the night wore on, the true horror of our situation unfolded. One by one, my friends disappeared, swallowed by the darkness that enveloped us. Their anguished cries echoed through the forest, haunting my every step. I was left alone, a witness to the unspeakable atrocities unfolding around me. I stumbled upon a makeshift shelter hidden deep in the woods, adorned with grotesque symbols etched into the bark. Inside, I discovered a grisly tableau of death and despair. The walls were adorned with photographs of my friends, their eyes gouged out, their bodies contorted in agonizing poses. A twisted smile spread across my face as I realized the true nature of Jake's intentions. With a surge of adrenaline, I ran through the forest, my heart pounding in my chest. Desperation fueled my every step as I fought to stay one step ahead of the psychopathic monster that had infiltrated our camping trip. But his sadistic laughter echoed through the trees, a chilling reminder of the imminent danger that lurked behind me. The final confrontation was a frenzy of violence and fear. I fought for my life, each blow fueled by a primal instinct to survive. The forest bore witness to our gruesome dance, its silent guardians casting long, eerie shadows across the blood-soaked ground. In the end, it was a battle of wills, a fight for sanity, and a world teetering on the edge of madness. As dawn broke, casting a pale light on the remnants of our once peaceful campsite, I emerged battered and broken, my soul scarred by the horrors I had witnessed. The forest stood as a silent witness to the unspeakable evil that had stained its sacred grounds. To this day, the true events of that fateful camping trip remain buried deep within me, a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most serene of places. The echoes of my friends' screams still reverberate in my nightmares, a chilling reminder of the fragility of our existence. It all began on a serene summer's day when my group of friends decided to embark on a camping trip deep within the heart of Whispering Pines, a small town nestled in the remote countryside. We had heard whispers of its breathtaking landscapes and untouched beauty, drawing us towards its mysterious allure. Little did we know that our journey would take a horrifying turn, forever etching the terrors of that fateful trip into our souls. As we made our way to Whispering Pines, we stopped at a local gas station to ask for directions. To our surprise, the locals greeted us with cold stares and hushed whispers, their eyes betraying an unspoken malevolence. Ignoring the unsettling vibes, we ventured into the vast wilderness, oblivious to the horrors that awaited us. Our first night in the camp was peaceful, the crackling fire casting dancing shadows upon our faces as we shared stories and laughter under the starlit sky. However, as the moon ascended, an eerie silence fell upon the forest, chilling our bones and filling the air with an unexplainable dread. The next morning, we encountered a group of locals who seemed to worship the forest's ancient spirit. Their eyes burned with a fanatical devotion, their every move exuding a sinister aura. Fear began to gnaw at the edges of our courage, but we dismissed it as mere paranoia. As the days passed, we noticed strange occurrences around our campsite. Footprints appeared in the morning dew, leading to nowhere, and unsettling whispers echoed through the dense foliage. Our unease grew and tensions within the group heightened. One night, curiosity got the better of me, and I followed the trail of whispers deep into the heart of the forest. What I witnessed was beyond comprehension. The locals, masked in macabre attire, engaged in a gruesome ritual, feasting on the still beating hearts of our friends. The raw horror of the scene paralyzed me, my mind struggling to process the unimaginable. With every ounce of strength, I managed to escape their clutches, racing back to our campsite. Desperation consumed me as I realized the dire fate that awaited my companions. Frantically, I contacted the state police, recounting the unspeakable horrors unfolding within Whispering Pines. Days later, when the authorities arrived, the truth was even more chilling. The once thriving town was deserted, its streets empty and devoid of life. It seemed as though the entire population had vanished, leaving behind only the lingering echoes of their wicked acts. The investigation revealed a dark history, shrouded in mystery, as if the town had been caught in the clutches of a malevolent force for centuries. The locals' devotion to the forest spirit had twisted into a bloodthirsty obsession, turning them into mindless predators. Whispering Pines became a haunting memory, a place forever tainted by the atrocities committed under the watchful gaze of the ancient woods. Its secrets remain buried, lost to the annals of time, while the survivors bear the weight of their harrowing experience, forever haunted by the chilling horrors of that ill-fated camping trip. I had always been drawn to the serenity of nature, finding solace in the vastness of the great outdoors. So when my friends suggested a camping trip in the remote woods near Lost Creek, I eagerly agreed. Little did I know that this trip would become a nightmare, a true camping horror story that would forever haunt my dreams. Lost Creek was nestled deep within the heart of Pennsylvania, a forgotten corner of the world where civilization seemed to fade away. The dense forest enveloped the area, its towering trees casting eerie shadows that danced with the wind. The air was damp, heavy with the scent of decay and a foreboding sense of isolation. We set up camp near the creek, the gentle sound of flowing water providing a soothing backdrop to the tranquility of the surroundings. The crackling campfire provided warmth and a sense of security as the night descended upon us. We exchanged stories, laughter, and the occasional ghost tale, oblivious to the horrors that awaited us. As the hours passed, an unsettling tension began to permeate the air. It was as if an invisible force, malevolent and insidious, had taken hold of the forest. The once peaceful night grew eerily silent, the chirping of crickets silenced and the rustling leaves becoming a distant memory. My senses heightened, my heart pounding in my chest as I noticed a peculiar stillness settling over the camp. Shadows danced menacingly around us, their elongated figures stretching far beyond what should have been possible. I felt watched, a palpable gaze boring into my soul, and dread clawed at my insides. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream shattered the silence, tearing through the night like a banshee's wail. Panic gripped us, our eyes wide with fear as we searched for the source of the horrifying sound. The darkness seemed to consume everything, leaving us blind and vulnerable. We huddled together, our trembling bodies clinging to the flickering light of the dying fire. Whispers of terror filled the air, blending with the rustling leaves and distant growls that echoed through the forest. Shadows twisted and contorted, taking on grotesque forms that twisted my stomach. One by one, my friends began to disappear, swallowed by the darkness that encroached upon our camp. Their terrified screams echoed in my ears, a symphony of anguish that fueled my desperation to survive. I fought against the paralyzing fear, determined to uncover the truth behind the horrors that lurked in Lost Creek. With each passing moment, the tension grew, and the veil between reality and nightmare blurred. I stumbled upon a hidden cave, its entrance concealed by a curtain of moss and vines. A sinister aura emanated from within, beckoning me towards its depths, and against my better judgment, I ventured inside. The cave revealed a chilling secret, an underground lair where a group of mutated beings resided. Their grotesque forms and bloodlust sent shivers down my spine, their eyes gleaming with a feral hunger. I watched in horror as they tore into the flesh of my friends, their cannibalistic feast fueling their twisted existence. As I witnessed the unimaginable, my survival instinct kicked in, and I fought my way out of the cave. Adrenaline coursed through my veins as I sprinted through the forest, my heart pounding in my ears. The once familiar woods had transformed into a labyrinth of terror, each step leading me deeper into the clutches of evil. Finally, I stumbled upon a clearing, a ray of moonlight illuminating the path to safety. I ran without looking back, leaving behind the horrors of Lost Creek, but forever carrying their weight in my heart. The memory of that night haunts me to this day, a constant reminder of the darkness that resides within the depths of humanity. Thank you for joining me on this chilling journey through 5 camping scary horror stories. I hope these tales have sent shivers down your spine and left you craving for more bone-chilling content. If you enjoyed these terrifying narratives, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on my future hair-raising videos. Remember, my channel is dedicated to bringing you unique and spine-tingling stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. From haunted houses to paranormal encounters, I delve into the depths of darkness to share the most captivating and eerie tales. Don't be fooled by imitators. With a subscription to my channel, you'll have access to a world of truly original and horrifying content that will leave you sleepless and wanting more. So if you're ready to face your deepest fears and embark on a journey into the unknown, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow horror enthusiasts. Stay tuned for more bone-chilling adventures, and remember, in the world of horror, there's always something lurking in the shadows.